So this lady here, she has a lot of interesting stories and is a really, really fun speaker to watch. She was actually Johnny Depp's PA at some point in her past.
You remember that?
So, I would like to bring to the stage Kelly P, who is the founder of myprojectme.com, and her talk tonight is Mind Over Matter. Welcome, Kelly.
It was sex education day at school. The boys were all being herded off over there to learn about boy sex stuff. And the girls, we were all headed over here to learn about girl sex stuff. I was so excited. They were putting in a video. Were we actually going to get to see people having sex? The video started, and there was a naked woman there. But she was giving birth. They were showing a baby coming out in the blood and the gore and it was absolutely disgusting. And I sat there feeling first a little faint and then a little nauseous. And I actually had to run out of the classroom and puke in the drinking fountain. It took a long time for me to live that down. And I put it out of my memory for a really long time, like I just didn't go there. Fast forward, I'm in my early 30s, and I'm pregnant, and I'm in my birthing class with my husband. First class, we arrive. The teacher goes and puts in a video. And I'm suddenly like back in time, completely feeling shaky, nauseous. I didn't throw up this time, but I definitely felt the fear. And for the rest of my pregnancy, I absolutely dreaded that day when it was going to come. I was petrified, absolutely petrified. And, well, it's probably no surprise that my birth was every bit as horrible as I imagined it was going to be. The pain, the gore, the horribleness, it was everything that I'd always feared. And I actually broke down and cried to my husband afterwards when I told him I was never going to be able to give our little boy a brother or a sister, because there was no way I was ever going to go through that again. 3 years later, I was pregnant again. And I said to my husband, I've heard about this new thing called hypnobirthing. And we're going to go on this hypnobirthing weekend, and we're going to learn about hypnobirthing. And he was like, hypnobirthing? What is that? It's like, look into my eyes, look into my eyes. And I was like, I don't know exactly what it is, but we're going. So we arrive, and we sit down in the room, and the teacher comes in, and she puts in a video. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. If I have to see another woman giving birth. And instead, it was a video of people walking barefoot across hot coals. And my husband and I are looking at each other, and we're like, are we in the right room? And he raises his hand. He's like, miss, we're here actually for the birthing thing. And she's like, yeah, you're in the right place. The reason she was showing us a video of people walking across hot coals is because she said that these people believed that they were not going to have any pain. They had no fear. She said fear equals pain. And these people were not afraid of walking over the hot coals, and so therefore they had no pain. Like, actually had no pain. And she went on to show this video. They were showing the bottom of people's feet afterwards, and they didn't even have blisters. So it was about the amazing power of the brain, and how if we believe that, for example, we're not going to have pain, not only do we not have pain, but it's the pain receptors, whatever it is not even going to make blisters. And she correlated that to childbirth and said, if you can get yourself into a positive mindset, not fear childbirth, and expect that it's going to be a positive outcome, you can have a really beautiful birth. So I left that workshop with all these cassette tapes. This was 2002. And listened to these cassette tapes every night before bed on a loop. And they were all about positive affirmations and telling myself that I could do it, and beautiful stories about birth and unfolding like a flower and all this really amazing visualization stuff. And as the day got closer, well, the day did come, and I had a home birth with absolutely no pain relief whatsoever. And hand on my heart, I had no pain, none. And as I laid in my bathtub afterwards, my legs started completely shaking. And I felt like I'd just run a marathon. And in many ways, I had just run a marathon. I'd just done the most amazing thing I'd ever done in my entire life. I'd just not only overcome like my biggest fear, but I had like given birth at home, and I was now in my own bathtub at home while my baby was sleeping in bed next to my husband. And it was just like, at that moment it hit me, this is like the biggest accomplishment I've ever done in my life. I now coach women. I'm not a hypnobirthing coach, but I coach women about mindset and teaching them to dream big and to accomplish anything that they have in life and not to let their minds get in the way. So mind over matter, everybody. If you have a fear, you can get over it. If I could, you can too.
Wow, that is an amazing story. Poppy, isn't she? Right, over to the judges.
Well, I thought you're amazing. I don't think I have very much advice to give you. I thought you owned the stage. Your story came across very personal, obviously, because it is a personal story. But the way you delivered it was full of emotion. Like I was literally with you in that room. I was living every inch of the story, and you know, it felt authentic. You know, it didn't feel staged. There was up and there was down. You know, it was colourful. You took us on that journey. I think we were all sort of, you know, hanging, wanting to know what's coming next. And I think that what's beautiful, I think, is that you've opened and you've shared your vulnerability with us. And we can all, I think that's a very endearing trait, and I think we shouldn't be afraid to do that more often in our talks and not trying to be the perfect version of ourselves. And that's inviting us to, you know, to like you, just as a, you know, I think that connection, we're talking about making an important connection. You know, straight away we want to, you know, you've got a, you know, you're smiling, but also you're vulnerable. So, you know, that creates that attraction. So I think as an effect, I felt attracted, I felt hanging to your story, you know, it had the right flow, you made the right point, and you, at the end, you nailed it. You're like, okay, you listen to that story, that's what I'm doing, I'm passionate and I want to do it to others. So I thought from a sales pitch point of view, it was wonderful because you landed your message on time and it didn't feel rushed. So I would say just
Thank you.
Keep it as is.
Thank you.
Great. Having given birth, I know you're talking about no, having witnessed my wife give birth. But it's more acknowledgement, really. How long have you been with Speaker Express now?
I started in November.
In November. And what were you like when you started?
Not a wreck.
A wreck. She was nervous, she was all sweaty, and that's when she was doing like a minute. And now look at this amazing. And actually, you're very quickly becoming an incredibly engaging speaker. You really do take us on a journey. And it's really nice to see you come out of your shell and you know, because I've had a chance to talk to you, and actually I'm just seeing more of you on stage. It's not fake, it's not acting, it's just you telling story, and it's really nice to see the joy of it come out. My only stretch, really, because it's more, I just want to acknowledge how far you've come, is I feel just at the end you could have had more punch to it. Mm-hmm. That would be my only bit. But to see you shine like this, and I can't wait to see your 10 minutes and your 20 minutes and your half an hour and your day talks. You know, I really think that now, like we talked outside, you're on this momentum, and I just think it's really important you continue that. But you're becoming an incredibly engaging speaker, so well done.
Thank you.
One more time for Kelly.